Do you remember the last trip you took before the pandemic? Or you're just thinking, what pandemic? Today, I'm gonna take you on my first real trip in 1.5 years. And there will even be a surprise guest for you. The Singapore government recently announced the so-called Vaccinated Traveler Lane, or VTL in short, which allows travel between Singapore and two countries, Germany and Brunei. This will be my first trip out of Singapore in 18 months and my first flight in 543 sad, depressing days. So let's find out what travel under the VTL is like. My vaccination record was validated upon checking in for my flight leaving Singapore. This is really all I need to enter Germany. Under VTL, you can take any non-stop flight from Singapore to Germany. It's important that you do not connect in a third country. The feeling of going through the immigration checkpoint and strolling around a deserted departure area felt surreal, like I was having a dream from the past. It felt both familiar yet distant at the same time. And I also became pensive. But this channel is about travel, not my inner psychology. So what we see here is different zones of Changi. Essentially, Changi has been compartmentalized so that different types of passengers don't mix. Transit passengers also had to walk in a duck formation while being escorted around the terminal. And transit passengers were even separated from us at the gate, as well as during boarding. Our flight was 13 hours and 1 minute, and SIA was good as always. Thank you, bye-bye. If you want to see more of the flight itself, then have a look at my Instagram, where I posted stories of the flights I took. In the immigration line, I was surrounded by people from flights from Lebanon and Kenya. It seems like international travel is already quite ordinary here. And just like that, we are in Germany! Cannot believe it! Our first immediate impression is it's incredibly full here at the airport. Not used to seeing that anymore. If I compare the hustle and bustle here with what we saw last night at Singapore, it's crazy. My second observation is here in the airport, everyone is wearing a mask as they have to, but as soon as we go outside, people don't wear a mask. Also, I'm not used to seeing this many Ang Mo everywhere. There were several impressions that I had throughout my week in Germany. The main one is that life is oddly normal here. Restaurants, including buffets, are open. People go on holidays, festivals are going on. And here I visited an outdoor market packed with people. Let's hear what Aaron from the MileLion, a Singapore travel blog, has to say about his experience with the Germany VTL.
So I went to Munich for the VTL, and I think it was pretty incredible. I think the most memorable thing is how normal everything looks when you're outside, because Germany has loosened its restrictions on mask wearing. As long as you're outside in the outdoors, you don't have to wear a mask. It's still required indoors when you're at the hotel, when you're in an indoor dining area, or when you're on public transport. But when you're walking along the streets and you look around and you see live entertainment, you see people walking without the mask, you see big tour groups, it's almost as if we're back to 2019.
I always felt uncomfortable being in crowds of people. I'm just not used to it anymore. Here I was at an outdoor festival in Berlin among masses of people, the majority of which were not even wearing masks. Even though I'm fully vaccinated, I do not want to catch COVID while here in Germany, as it would mean that my return to Singapore would be delayed by at least 21 days. Restaurants are supposed to ask you for your vaccination certificate. However, enforcement here does not seem to be as comprehensive as in Singapore. I chuckled at myself because whenever I would enter a building, I intuitively pulled out my phone and started searching for the QR code to scan. There are free COVID testing centers set up all throughout the city. I booked an appointment online and I'm going to try to get a COVID test here now. Alright, so that was very easy. 2 minutes and I'm out, and the result is going to be emailed to me in 20 minutes. I generally asked my friends to get themselves tested before I would engage in mask-off activities with them.
We received our test result. It's negative!
Negative!
Hallo und herzlich willkommen auf Stefans YouTube-Kanal. Heute sind wir in Berlin. Stefan hat ein Leihkind heute.
Genau.
The other great thing about being in Munich was how safe I felt. So unfortunately, because of what's happened with COVID, we've heard stories of anti-Asian, anti-Chinese sentiment. But I can honestly tell you that when I was in Munich, I felt no different from any other tourist.
And this was a quick glimpse into what the post-pandemic world could look like. What do you think? I am curious to see your comments below. I will publish 2 more videos about this trip. One is about the process of returning to Singapore under VTL, and the second one will be about my experience flying Singapore Air business class during the pandemic. Alright, my friends, thank you for watching and I hope to catch you for another trip soon.